So let's get to the first match of the night. We had here Drew McIntyre versus Jimmy Uso. This been stemming from last week of the insults between one another. Drew insulted Jimmy last week, saying that Jimmy could have been the one saying yeet, talking about him and Jay. Jimmy fired back, said something. Then last week, after Jimmy had his match last week, he did attack Drew McIntyre. But other than that, this was a good match to kick things off with SmackDown. These two went at it. Jimmy got off, he got the early offense. He got a quick 2 count with a crossbody from the top rope. Then, Drew McIntyre tossed around the ring. Drew was not taking Jimmy seriously. And in a roll-up pin, Jimmy Uso defeated Drew McIntyre. So now we have in the record books both Jay Uso, who defeated Drew at Saturday night's main event, and Jimmy Uso. Both Usos had defeated Drew McIntyre in a one-on-one match. Then, of course, later on, Drew would try to attack Jimmy afterwards because Drew's upset about the loss. Officials broke it up. And then Drew came back in the ring after being taken out by officials and hit Jimmy with a Claymore kick. But great match to kick off SmackDown. Next match of the show, let's talk about Carmelo Hayes and The Miz teaming up for the first time ever against R-Truth and LA Knight. The Miz trying to team up with Carmelo. Melo don't Miz. Melo's not feeling that. R-Truth, of course, the LA Louisiana's finest came out. It was LA Knight in the LA of Louisiana. This was a solid tag team match. Good chemistry between Carmelo and R-Truth, I would say. And also a good team up of Carmelo Hayes and The Miz. Other than that, though, due to Shinsuke Nakamura interfering and attacking LA Knight, a good combination of the first 48 by Carmelo and the Skull Crush finale results in a win for Miz and Carmelo. So good for those two. Next match of the night, we have Tiffany Stratton, the WWE Women's Champion, one-on-one Candice LeRae in a non-title matchup. We saw at the turning point of the match, Charlotte Flair come down. During the match, she did commentary. Did not stop Tiffany. She kept her eye on Charlotte. But with Tiffany, she had cut a promo before the match saying, that Charlotte's going to come for her. But this was an okay match. I know Tiffany has slipped up trying to run to the ropes from arm drag. Looked kind of awkward there. But her selling, sometimes you lose too much while screaming. But basically, this was a quick matchup. Tiffany Stratton defeated Candice LeRae. Then later on, we did see Nia Jax herself and Candice try to get on Tiffany again. Trish Stratus came in. And this time it was Nia Jax once again got the advantage over Trish Stratus and Tiffany Stratton, and she did the annihilator to both. Looked kind of awkward. She did a sit on her. I guess she didn't want to squash them because Nia Jax has a history of hurting people. She didn't want that to be a recurrent theme in her career. But that was the end of that match. We do have a match that was advertised with Naomi versus Liv Morgan. But it did not turn out as well. Instead of that, we did get Liv and Raquel end up attacking Bianca and Naomi. So ended up coming down to that, which was not good. So we got that. And of course, Nick Aldis kicked Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez out of the arena. But let's get to the whole segment that everybody's been talking about. We already know what point that is coming down to. The segment is we talking about of the night. Cody was pulled out of 6-man tag, and that was because so he could have a one-on-one talk with The Rock. So they had a talk. Rock told Cody, he admired everything about him as champion. Gave him his props, talk about the feud they had from before to now. He said that their moms even are friends, not to his photo, show the photo them backstage, taking a picture. Rock said, he respect Cody standing up to him for the main event for last year. Rock slapping Cody, Cody slapping Rock. In retrospect, Rock is the member of TKO board, using his power and authority. He says he wants Cody to be his corporate champion, and he wants his soul. Cody asked him, do you want his title? He said, no, I want your soul. Cody said, he just looked confused and frazzled. Rock said, Cody, you at the top. You run the company. I'll get you much higher than that. I could reach your dreams, your daughter's dreams, everything for your daughter, the next generation for your wife. Just be my champion. And he said he will give Cody Rhodes up until Elimination Chamber, which Rock will be at, to see what Cody's final answer is. And that was it. Rock hugged him and all that and left the ring. I'll tell more about this later on. But meanwhile, let's get on to another part of the show. We got ourselves here a tag team match. Well, not one of the tag team match, I should say. And one of the tag team match was DIY versus Pretty Deadly in a WWE Championship tag team match. Very good, solid match. Turning point was Street Profits showed up, attacked both tag teams, and ended in a no contest. And once again, Street Profits is standing tall all over everybody while everybody's laid out in the middle of the ring. But let's get to the main event of the show. Now, the main event we had here, like I said, originally 6-man tag, became a tag team match with Cody being pulled as a request for the final boss. Damian Priest and Braun Strowman worked very well. Jacob Fatu and Solo, they had a segment. They talked early on, and Solo said it was an accident of him hitting Tama Tonga. Jacob informed him if he knew if it wasn't actually going to be standing, letting Solo know that Jacob Fatu was watching him and he stands on business. They talked out. They came out beginning a match talking. Solo talking. Jacob interrupt him. But meanwhile, they lived to the match and it ended up in a good back and forth between both teams. We saw also Damian Priest getting a lot of offense. Him and the Street Champ call it. They went and got them, which is Solo. They start off the match. So that was crazy. It was a miscommunication. Jacob Fatu accidentally super kicked Solo with a super kick while Damian Priest got out the way. And Braun Strowman, he did it good. He took care of Tama Tonga. He's trying to interfere. He sent both him and Jacob Fatu to the announce table. Now, Damian Priest, while he saw that, he hit the South Africa on Solo Sikoa for the pin and win. It was a very good segment. And at the end, it was Damian Priest and Braun Strowman whose hands were raised. Damian Priest also did the new school, old school Undertaker-ish on Solo. Good matches there. A lot of Undertaker style, of course, in Damian Priest. Damian had good offense. I guess it makes Damian look good, leading to the Elimination Chamber match. Now, that would be the end of SmackDown. Now, these are all the moments that happened on SmackDown, and it led to this. Now, I'm going to go over my grading of the show, what did I think of it. Now, we had, of course, a tag team title match. We had Rock showing up. This was an okay SmackDown, 3.5 out of 5, and I'll explain why. We're going to go over soon what went wrong and what went right with SmackDown. So let's go over that to right now, see what the issues were and stuff that I noticed on SmackDown. To sum it up, one reason I saw most of the matches were average. The only good matches I did like the main event. I did like also the opener match of Drew and Jimmy. I like the Carmelo and Miz teaming up. That was good. I didn't like Tiffany Stratton and Candice LeRae. I didn't care too much about the other tag team match. DIY Pretty Deadly was okay. I mean, some matches were good, some could have been better. Like I said, I would say out of matches, I would say the whole Liv Raquel tagging people. I mean, like I said, it was all right. It was okay, but it wasn't exactly my full cup of tea after coming off a very mid Monday Night Raw. I was expecting a better SmackDown. It turns out I didn't get that.
What's gonna happen? No. Words? No. You just made the list.
All right, another part. Let's go what went wrong that I see on the show. It started off great, but I see it's a recurring theme now. The Street Profits, I understand they have to make an impact. You know, they're mad about who attacked them a while back. But do they have to interrupt every tag team match the DIY is in? I mean, we get it. You came back to Royal Rumble, made a huge impact. You know, you hit DIY with the crutches, stood tall in the 2 out 3 falls match. Then you interfered last week. But you interfere almost every tag team match. And we know they're going to get a match against DIY for the tag team belts and more likely take it off them. But it's just it's just too much of a repetitive thing here.
No. Words? No. You just made the list.
So I see that as a recurring problem as well. You know, hopefully, I know the huge peril will be DIY losing the tag team belts to Street Profit at the end of the day. That's what I'm hoping for more than anything else. But, and of course, I'll go over the obvious, which I will talk about. The Rock segment with Cody Rhodes was very weird. Stuff Rock was saying, the way Rock was acting, it just seemed kind of off at first. Maybe just me, maybe some people liked it, but it just seemed strange. Especially if they're supposed to be maybe the final bosses, how they really act. Strange.
You know what's gonna happen? No. Words? No. You just made the list.
So that was strange. But however, there are some good things that did go right on SmackDown, which I will get to right now. And I'm going to talk about what went right with SmackDown. Let's talk about it. I will say that even though that they lost, this is a quick setup, and I'm talking about Jacob Fatu and Solo Sikoa, the way they was in the match. That feud is still brewing because these two losing, and then Jacob accidentally kicking Solo. After last week, a Solo accidentally hit Tama Tonga. Jacob probably apologize to Solo or say something smart, but it's destined that these two are going to have a match at WrestleMania 41. And I'm on board with that.
Yeet.
So this is one thing I did see that I did like as far as that goes. Another thing that I did see what went right with SmackDown, which was like I said before, the opening match. This was Drew. He was shocked. The end result of losing to Jimmy Uso, as he took him lightly. Drew's reaction to losing the match, they attacking Jimmy afterwards when Drew did lose, his reaction. I thought that was great, and they'll set up something. But Drew's always he's been great in this role he's been doing for over a year. So this is a good storytelling.
Yeet.
So that's another thing I saw that went great with that. Another thing I will say went great as well after that match. Gotta say it. You know, it seemed kind of odd team. Carmelo Hayes continues his winning streak. Does he have the partnership with Miz? Will him and Miz be a tag team? Because it seems like Melo's not on board with it now. Maybe he will oblige. I don't see him feuding with another heel, which is the Miz. These two could end up being a tag team or have some type of alliance for all we know. If not, it worked out well. Miz, him, Melo, Miz. It's got a nice ring to it. I can see that happening. And it could catch on if the book like
Yeet.
So that's what I saw, and that's what went wrong and what went right. Now let's go over something else. We're gonna go over some current news in WWE, and the current news, as I mentioned before, it will be WrestleMania 42. The reason Rock did come to SmackDown. WrestleMania 42 will be in New Orleans in 2026, April 11th and April 12th, Saturday and Sunday. The crowd seemed very happy when Rock talked about New Orleans having WrestleMania again. We do know that WrestleMania prior was also at other WrestleManias. If you guys remember, we also had two other WrestleManias here. We had WrestleMania 30 and WrestleMania 34 that was here prior. WrestleMania 30 was when Daniel Bryan closed WrestleMania 30 as the WWE World Heavyweight Champion, YesOmania. And WrestleMania 34, not so great as 30. That's when Roman Reigns was bleeding. He lost the Universal Championship match against Brock Lesnar, retained his title. Then famous Brock Lesnar throwing the Universal title to Vince McMahon, and Vince called him an a-hole and all that. And of course, Braun Strowman winning the Tag Team Championship with a 10-year-old Nicholas. But it did be the third time New Orleans will be in WrestleMania, so can't wait to see how that's going to go. It's going to sound solid though. Now we're gonna switch gears. We're gonna go ahead and go to the bonus round there, and we will talk about The Rock and Cody Rhodes. It's got to get talked about. So let me get a couple minutes. Give me a moment, and we will get this started, and we'll talk about the whole thing here. Let's get into it. All right, let's talk about it. What is the whole agenda of The Rock and Cody Rhodes? Now, The Rock, he came out, he offered Cody to be his corporate champion. Rock's part of the TKO board. And Cody Rhodes is confused. You know, Rock sounds good stuff about him. He saw this at the Netflix debut on Raw. It's ever since then. Rock's been nice to Cody Rhodes. They've been doing talking, hugging, and all that stuff. We've seen all that stuff going on between these two men. The thing about it is something definitely seemed off. We saw that. Something was off between Rock. How did Rock be in his final boss character mood? And now he's going on to do this. So definitely, it's something definitely strange with the whole situation. So with that point at hand, what is the whole thing Rock's trying to do? Rock's over with this whole thing. Now, Rock did go over some good points. He did mention, before it was crazy because we remember that last year, this whole thing started with Rock slapping Cody Rhodes last year. So this was 2024 leading up to supposed to be Rock and Roman. They was rivals. We saw that last year. We saw these men were rivals. We saw they was getting to it and all of that. We saw that happen last year. I mean, these guys, Rock couldn't stand Cody Rhodes, said he was a mistake, and Rock talked about his family, insulted his family, all of that. We saw that stuff going on, and now it comes to the point, this was last year, where they did have that going on, and now it comes to the point where it ended with all this nonsense was going on, and Rock beating Cody up badly. And this was at the Monday Night Raw that was in Chicago. He went from all of that to now they are brothers. You know, if you guys, so that's the thing about that. Things can change within a year. Now Rock wants Cody to be his champion. Now this means that Rock is taking over the storyline of the real final boss. He's gonna run everything. He already pulled Cody out of a match, so it's showing that he has so much power that he could do whatever he wants to Cody. He pulled him out of a main event match on SmackDown. Now Cody, he looked confused, like I said before, but what does Rock want? I thought at first Rock wanted his title, but no, he wants his soul. That's what he wants from Cody Rhodes. He wants his soul. He wants it all. He wants to own everything. He wants to own it all. So that's the whole thing about it. So it's coming down to that. So it's just crazy because it gives me kind of vibes of we've seen this before, but it's more of a mix, I should say, because thing about it is this is not the first time we saw this before. Thing about it is Rock is really trying to abuse his authority. We see this with the final boss character. He really wants to do that. Has no shame in that at all. No shame at all. And thing about it is Rock's going to do whatever he can to make sure that Cody is his champion. Rock really wants to think about this. Now, remember, we kind of saw this before. I remember Roman Reigns and Triple H went over this when Seth Rollins, had to vacate the WWE Championship due to injury. So we know that as well. So we know that's something that's going on too. The thing about it is that when it comes down to it, it's crazy because Rock, he said doesn't have to end in the match. And we're trying to figure out what's the whole agenda for that. Because it's definitely giving me kind of vibes there. We have seen this played out, not just with, of course, Triple H and Roman Reigns. That's not the whole thing either. We know it's been more to it than that. Because we know that Cody Rhodes is all about the fans. We know Cody Rhodes is all about doing what's right for the fans, doing what's right for the business. And he said, "You're champion." He said, "I'm their champion." Cody made sure he said that. Definitely made sure he said that. He was not very, he was very blunt about that. What he said. So I know Rock didn't like that, but he's trying to give a chance to give Cody Rhodes opportunity to do the right thing. And like I said, we've seen this before. This has happened plenty of times. Now, the thing about it is this could go somewhere, but it's giving me different kind of vibes there. Definitely different kind of vibes of how this can go down. Now, the thing about it is when it comes down to the authoritative figure, they don't get their way. Now, when Rock said he wants Cody's soul, it gave me reminiscence of Undertaker in the 90s. That's how he came off as. That's what he wants. He feel like that's what he's going to get. That's what he deserves. So that's definitely going to be interesting where that's going. It seemed very weird. Like I said, he wanted soul and all that. Most people were, seemed weird about it. Like, what's going on? What is Rock talking about? What does he mean by that? But this is whole thing with Rock. This whole thing behind that. Rock wants to own it all. He's the final boss for a reason. He wants everything. I mean everything. He wants the corporate chamber to represent his company. Pretty much like Vince McMahon did with Stone Cold back in the 90s. If you remember, he tried that whole thing with Stone Cold wearing a suit and tie, even having taken pictures. That's how Rock is pretty much a Vince McMahon type, and Steve Austin's Cody Rhodes rebellious. Now, the thing about it is Cody Rhodes, if Cody Rhodes do not oblige and give Rock the answer that he wants at Elimination Chamber, that's when Rock is waiting for the answer. If Rock does not get the answer that Cody's willing to give him if Cody's not telling Rock what he wants to hear. Here's the thing with that, because Cody could end up becoming a heel. He could. But Cody, we know, is one of the top merchandise sellers in WWE. We know that. So we know that could be the thing going down. But if you think about it, if Cody does not become the champion Rock wants him to be, Rock has said it before, take your time, just like that. He said it Seth Rollins last year. He could find himself a new corporate champion. Who could that champion be? Lo and behold, Drew McIntyre. I think Drew will go on to side with Rock. He'll be the new corporate champion. That could happen. I mean, we've seen that happen before. Again, you guys have to remember history here. That's how he can do it. I don't see why not. It makes sense. The thing about it is, when it comes down to it, this angle has been done. Like I said, we remember Stone Cold. We already know that he did not end up becoming the corporate champion that Vince McMahon wanted him to be back in the day. We know that was not the case here. We know that Stone Cold, despite taking photos with Vince McMahon, he still was not that corporate champion. Stone Cold was going to do what he wanted to do and be that character, the rebellious character. But you know what Vince did do later on? I will tell you what he did do, however. Now, he may not have got the corporate champion out of Stone Cold Steve Austin in the 90s. Guess who he did find out being a corporate champion? And it's a very rare coincidence. He ended up becoming The Rock. That's how Rock became champion. Rock know the blueprint because he was a part of the original blueprint. He was the corporate champion. Remember, the people's eyebrow became the corporate's eyebrow. The people's elbow became the corporate elbow. That same thing can happen with Drew McIntyre. He could be the corporate dude. He could be cleaned up. I could see that happening. Drew would do that because he wants the WWE Championship. And another thing too, Rock said that it don't have to end a match with himself and Cody Rhodes. Now, he said this at the press conference right after SmackDown. We know SmackDown don't never hold a press conference, which is new, but he did say that. And maybe Rock is onto something we don't know about.
No, like everything will culminate to a match. Like whatever happens, it will end.
So it doesn't have to end there. And Rock stated that he was the only person that did a press conference like a real boss. So that's just something to think about. We got to keep an eye, really have to pay attention to Elimination Chamber now and see what happens. My question besides that is, besides all of that, what is Roman Reigns thinking about all of this? What is Tribal Chief or your Tribal Chief thinking about this? Because it seemed like, I'm saying that we've been waiting for years. We've been waiting for years to get a match of Rock and Roman Reigns. And it seemed like right now where it's going to, we're really not going to get that match of Rock versus Roman, maybe to WrestleMania 42. Maybe that sets up the match of Rock and Roman versus WrestleMania 42. Maybe we'll finally get that match between those two. We know it's supposed to happen at 40. But of course, Cody Crybabies, as they call it, got it. Maybe we'll finally get those two together at WrestleMania 42. So I know this don't sit well with Roman at all. Rob being buddy with Cody. But if he end up turning on Cody, Roman's not a part of that. Roman's still going to feel some way because he had the center of attention. That's how Tribal Chief thinks. But other than that, though, that's all I have regarding Rock and Cody. What's the next move? What's the agenda? The whole agenda of Rock versus Cody Rhodes. You guys let me know what you think of that. You guys check out the content on the channel. Subscribe to the channel. And, of course, you already know what it is. O, U, and T.
Something happened this weekend. And I've been struggling with it since I retired. But this weekend gave me closure. Wow. It really did. Like, It was fun. Obviously, it was fun. I mean, you can't, doing this for as long as I have and